It is just such a wonderful experience to have you all here today, and just a beautiful day for us to be together. Yes? Yes. I thought we'd do something a little bit different, and that is we're going to have an experience, Deborah and I, and you and me, and all of us. And I'm going to start with this idea because there was a student who was just ending school, and the assignment by the teacher was make a list of all of your goals. You're graduating. What's next for you? What are all the goals that you want to accomplish? And so the student, he got down and he started writing all of the things that he wanted, all of the fame, all of the fortune, all of the health, all of the great relationships, all of the great jobs, and all of the things that he wanted to accomplish in life. And very proud, he brought the paper into the teacher and handed it to them and said, well, what do you think? And the instructor looked at it and put a big X through all of it and wrote at the top, peace of mind. And then he said to him, you've been misled. Peace of mind is the most important goal of all. It should be at the top of your list, for without it, none of these things are really meaningful to you. They all become, in fact, torment for you. And so today we're going to set all of those goals aside. They're all good. You don't have to scratch them out, but we're going to focus on this idea of peace of mind and establishing that within our hearts. So what is peace? What does peace of mind really mean? And I had all my quotes, but I forgot to print them out today. Charles Fillmore defined peace of mind as harmony and tranquility within, in the awareness of our Christ consciousness. Now, if the word Christ doesn't work for you, that's okay. Think about your higher self. I like to say our authentic self, because that's the truth of who we are. So, and did you notice he didn't say to be the perfect expression of that? Anybody notice that? What did he say instead? Oh, you're all listening. Great. The awareness of it. Just the awareness of it is enough to lift us up. We don't have to be perfect. Everyone take a nice big sigh of relief. We don't have to live up to any of those standards except to be aware that that is our true nature. And when we become aware of that, then that becomes our experience, like that law of mind action. We start to focus on that idea, and peace of mind naturally comes. Harmony and tranquility, the experience of the bliss of being in that experience, becomes our nature. And it takes more than simply a thought or a word or a phrase. We have to think about it and meditate on it and affirmatively prayer in it so that it becomes a part of who we are. It gets into your bones, as they say, right? It gets out of our head as an idea and then it starts to become real for us. And as it becomes real for us, that awareness continues and that peace of mind is built, and we carry that peace of mind with us throughout our experience. For God is source. God is the source within us of that peace, everlasting. God is the source within us of that bliss and that love. So when we stop thinking and searching for it outside of us and find it first within us, then all of those other things, those goals, that wealth, that health, all become so much more rich and beautiful, yes? And so in this process, when we become aware that we're not having some sense of peace of mind, when we're hooked by our anxiety, when we are hooked by our conditions in life, when we're starting to get hooked by those knuckleheads out there, and of course no one here, but you know who I'm talking about, right? When we start to get hooked, the first step is to just establish peace within. To establish peace within and to be gentle with ourselves. Feel free to sing if you'd like.
Spirit of the living God, move afresh in me. Spirit of the living God, move afresh in me. the living God. Move afresh in me.
Peace begins with me. Peace begins with my awareness of that divine presence within me, that inner source, that strength, that wisdom, that intelligence. I let go of everything I've been holding on to, for it is all temporary. And I sink into spirit, sink into that experience of that which is permanent, that divine essence that's within me. Peace begins with me. As I move into that center and that spirit, that experience, I then bring that peace out into the world and I express it into the world. I express self-kindness, self-compassion to myself so that I may be in that experience of peace. I will be gentle with myself. And so it is. Peace within. It just takes a moment to reestablish that connection within us. And when we do, then we can bring that experience out into the world and to be that experience in the world. You've heard the term, be the peace that you want to see in the world, yes? Because life is spicy. Have you noticed? All kinds of stuff goes on in life. Exciting stuff, scary stuff, joyful stuff. Some of you who have noticed the scratch that's on my forehead. And yesterday was Tiffany and I's 22nd wedding anniversary. No, we did not get into a fight. That's a shocker, I know. We were in San Francisco for a night. We went to a jazz club. We went out to dinner, and then we were just walking down to Union Square from dinner. And we were passing a restaurant. I don't know if you know it. It's called Lori's. It's a little burger joint. Tiffany loved to run the half marathon, the Beta Breakers half marathon. She was all in for the half marathon part of it. And then afterwards, sometimes what we would do is we'd go to Lori's and have dinner. And we were walking by, noticing Lori's. And what I remember is that on the street level, you can see inside, it's really small. It's just like a foyer because the restaurant is upstairs and there are a couple of floors above that. So I was looking and remembering, I remember the time that we were in there when we were with our kids, and I turned around just in time to be attacked by a giant pillar of brick walls being lashed out by the building. Now, I know in that moment, there's all sorts of blame, shame, and guilt going on. When something happens to you, blame, shame, and guilt, the BSG just starts coursing through you. I could have absolutely blamed Tiffany for not jumping in front of this giant bestial brick wall and saving me, but I didn't. I, of course, could have blamed the restaurant, but it's not their fault. They're just renting. Or I could have blamed myself for not being present, but I was being present. I was observing where I was at. We all know who's really to blame. It's the architect who 100 years ago planned this and was biding his time for just this moment. No, that's not true. I can't back that up. I ran head into the corner of that brick wall and that little out pillar. And I sat there, put my hand on my forehead, and was just sitting there, standing there thinking, okay, just be calm, go within. Remember that peace thing that you're talking about tomorrow. And so I'm standing there just breathing, and Tiffany's like, are you okay? And you know that look where you're holding your hand and someone says, and you go, is there blood? And they're like, yeah. And we even have kids, and we're trained not to do that. It's like, no, just a flesh wound. But no, she was like, and so I'm like, blood's kind of dripping, and I put my head back in the forehead. It's like, well, the first thing I'm thinking is, well, there goes the rest of our night because we had plans to go out afterwards, after dinner. And I'm like, so I'm just kind of sitting there. I'm like, well, we can still go. No, I'm taking you home. So Tiffany, remember, we have kids. We had 2 kids who are in sports. One's graduating and the other's a freshman. So Tiffany went into mom mode and concussion protocol. It's like the NFL, the blue tent goes down and she's checking me out for concussions. And there was a drugstore right across the corner, so we went in and got some gauze. It's fine. I got a little scratch. I may be slightly concussed, but I don't think so. So I'm walking around like this into the store. I put the gauze on my forehead. We get in the Uber. We get back to the garage. We get our car. And what I remember is that people were so nice. People stopped and asked me, "Are you okay?" Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. Even the guy at the garage who manages the garage took one look at me, ran and got a wad of paper towels and handed me some paper towels. And everyone was so kind and so compassionate. This is the middle of San Francisco. This is right around, what's that? What did I say it was?
Union Square.
Yeah, that's where I was, that place, Union Square, right around there. So there was a lot of people there, and everyone was so nice. And that's our second phase of this prayer in peace, of prayer of peace, is to be kind and compassionate to one another, in our relationships, because life is spicy and stuff happens. But if we can first begin by self-love and self-compassion and be overfilled with that from source and spirit, and then take that out into the world and be loving kindness in our relationships, wouldn't that be wonderful? We don't have to beat ourselves over the head to get there, to do it. What if we were just had a smile and give thanks and said, thank you for being here. Thank you for your presence. To our relationships, especially those who are very close to us. What if we went home and just called our family, our friends, called someone and said, "Hey, I love you." Click. Who was that? What if we did a drive-by love bomb? I don't know, whatever. Thich Nhat Hanh has a beautiful quote, and I'm going to butcher it because I don't have it in front of me. But the idea here is that peace begins within. And what if you only had a smile? What if a smile is all you could do? That's the beginning. That's the foundation of peace in our world and in our life. A smile. Now, it doesn't mean that we're going to be doormats, because we can have spiritual strength, yes? And spiritual strength doesn't mean that we're knuckleheads. I had to censor myself there. Right? We don't have to react to people. We can be present in our own peace and have that spiritual strength and be present to it and say, this is not appropriate for me. And, here's the situation. But it begins with that inner peace, and then that becomes that external peace and seeing beyond the appearances, because those knuckleheads that are acting out are just people who banged their head metaphorically and didn't realize it. Right? They're in pain in some way and fashion because they don't know this loving presence that we know, because they don't know this idea of self-love, that you are always loved by God, that we know. And so we can affirm in that moment, surely the presence is in this space in every moment of the day.
Surely the presence of the one is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. I can feel the hush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the one is
The one presence, the one power, God the good, the omnipotence, isness, divine mind, infinite intelligence, sum and source of all that is, the allness of life. I live and move and have my being in you. We are one with this infinite flow of life, love, and wisdom together. We are one with this infinite flow of life, love, and wisdom. We bring this energy into the world together. We bring this energy into our lives together. We live and breathe and move and have our being in this experience of God together. And in this moment, we are one, you and I. We're one in the allness of life, for that infinite flow of peace and love flows from the inside out. Infinite love flows from me to you, from you to me. That energy flows in all directions. We are swimming in it. And for that love, for the harmony, the tranquility of inner peace, we say thank you, thank you, thank you, God. And so it is. Amen. Peace within, peace with each other. And because life is spicy, peace for the world. Now you may ask yourself, how can I express or be a pillar of peace? How can I express this? How can I make a difference for something that's happening, in another city, in another hemisphere, in another side of the world? How can I be the presence? How can I make any impact on that? Well, in Unity, we really believe in the power of prayer, because prayer is aligning ourselves with that one presence and power. Prayer is when we're in that understanding of God within us. And the thoughts, the words, the actions, the feelings that we have in that moment is prayer. So we let go of our beseeching prayers. We let go of our wishing prayers. We just simply know that we're one, affirm it, and send that love and energy out into the world. So as you experience that peace within you, as you experience that peace in your relationships, we hold one another and send that idea, that love, that energy out into the world. We surround our planet with that love, with that peace, and we see all human beings uplifted in this moment. What they do from there is between them and God. That's not our concern. We don't have to worry. We don't have to fear. We're just sending the love. Because if we start worrying and fearing and doubting, complaining, where do we go? Back into our inner turmoil or inner chaos. And so get back to our peace and send that love into the world and affirm as we pray for peace.
Pray for peace. Pray for peace. Pray for peace. Pray for peace. Pray for peace. Pray for peace. Pray for peace. Pray for peace. Please pray for peace. 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 Pray for peace.
Peace begins with me, in me. I am the peaceful presence that the world needs. I draw upon that inner peace and love and joy and express that into the world in all that I say, all that I think, and all that I do. I allow that experience of peace to well up within me, and I express it with overflowing love. I express peace in my relationships. As I move through this world with ease and grace, with that peaceful heart, I allow that love, that peace to be expressed to all people. Just as I hold self-compassion, I hold compassion for one another. Just as I hold self-kindness, I hold kindness to others. Together we experience and express peace in our relationships. And together we express that peace into the world. We hold that prayer for all human beings in this moment, seeing them awaken to their divine potential within them, simply becoming aware of something greater than themselves, becoming aware of the goodness, the love, the harmony in the world, the harmony of God. We affirm this and we hold this vision for our world. We bless all of life's creations from the center of our world outward, blessing all of creation, filling it with love, filling it with peace, filling it with joy. We feel this energy flowing from within out in the stillness of the silence. In this experience of God, oneness, infinite intelligence, we affirm God within me is the endless source of peace, and I am at peace with all persons and all things. I pray and bless the world with God's peace. I invite you to gently open your eyes. The affirmation is on the screen. And I invite you to affirm that with me. Together, God within me is the endless source of peace, and I am at peace with all persons and all things. I pray and bless the world with God's peace. And so it is. For this peace within us, for the celebration of our love, of our community, of God, we give thanks by singing the Alleluia.
Hallelujah.